Hello everyone, welcome to Kenya News. My name is Blaine Winkler, and along with me, I have Ian Walgren in the capital of Kenya. Today's daily news is about the government here in Kenya. As you might have known, Ian, Kenya has gone through some big changes in the government.
That's right, Blaine. I'm here in Nairobi, where Kenya's government recently proposed a new constitution and are still working on implementing it.
Wow, that's really interesting, Ian.
You're absolutely right, Blaine. With over 54 million people living in Kenya, this will have a wide range of effects on everyone in the country.
I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about the history of Kenya and where they got their government from.
Of course I can. Kenya has a history that Americans can relate to. Why, back in 1950, Kenya was ruled by none other than the British.
Oh, really? So just like America in 1776?
Exactly like us. And like us, the Kenyan people did not like the British ruling them. So they started a revolution called the Mau Mau Rebellion. But unfortunately for the Kenyan people, their revolution didn't work out so well as ours.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Yes, it really was. The Kenyan people fought the British from 1950 to 1956. But in the end, they had to give up. But fortunately, 7 years later, on December 12, 1963, Kenya declared their independence from the British and won their freedom, and then established their own constitutional republic, just like America.
Thanks, Ian. Now we go to our next segment, Sights with Zane.
Hello kids, my name is Zane Barnett and I'm here to show you some of the amazing wildlife in Kenya. Now, who has a question about wildlife in Kenya? How about you, Blaine?
What types of animals live in Kenya?
That's a great question, Blaine. Kenya is home to many cool animals like elephants, lions, and zebras.
Wow, I wish I had a pet zebra.
Zane, pick me, Zane, pick me.
How about you, Kip?
Are there any mountains in Kenya?
Absolutely! The tallest mountain in Kenya is over 17,000 feet tall.
Wow, that's really cool.
Zane, pick me, Zane, pick me, Zane.
How about you, Ian?
Hey, what about... what about...
Are you okay, Ian? Do you need some water? Actually, this is a great time to talk about some of the things we can do to help keep our environment clean. Right now, Kenya is going through a major drought, which means we don't have a lot of water available.
How do we fix it?
Well, that's a great question, Ian. The government in Kenya has been taking many steps to try and reduce how people have been using the water. That's all I have for you today, kids. Now let's go back over to Ian and Blaine in the studio.
Thanks, Zane, for telling us a little bit about the environment here in Kenya.
We have some breaking news to report. Kenya has become the first country in Africa to ban plastic bags.
Wow, this is a huge step to make sure we keep our environment clean and safe for all animals.
You're exactly right, Blaine. People that use plastic bags in Kenya may be forced to pay up to $37,000 or spend 4 years in jail.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Absolutely. Oh, look at the time. It's time for our cooking show with Kip. Where's Kip? Oh, he's hiding. Got it. Play hide and seek. Great game in Kenya.
Welcome to the kitchen. I'll be guiding you on how to make ugali and kales, which is a simple Kenyan dinner food, with the help of my two friends, Ian and Blaine.
Could you tell us briefly about how to prepare this food and the ingredients we need?
Absolutely. So with ugali, you only need corn flour, water, and of course, a cooking pan. We also need 1 tablespoon, 1 onion, which is chopped, a tomato, an olive oil, and red pepper if you like a spicy food.
What are the steps to making ugali?
The first step to making ugali is to let the water come to a boil. Once the water comes to a boil, you will begin to pour your cornmeal into the boiling water. Next, use the wooden spoon to quickly start mixing the cornmeal and the water. The next step is to gather all the ugali and press it on the side of the pot. The next step is to reduce the heat to medium and keep turning the ugali as it continues to stick together. Continue stirring until the ugali sticks together. Finally, once the ugali has become firm, smoothen it into a round shape and leave it for 1 minute. Once you begin to smell the aroma, it will be ready. Now we will begin to prepare the kale. The first step is to heat oil in a pan until it's shimmering. The next step is to chop your onions. Then begin to chop your tomatoes. The next step is to add salt into the pan along with the diced tomatoes and diced onions. The next step is to let the tomatoes and onions cook in the pan for about 5 minutes on medium heat. The next step is to add the kale into the pan with the tomatoes and onions. The next step is to let the kale cook for 2 to 3 minutes on the pan. The last step is to then add seasoning into the pan. Once you have finished cooking the kale, bring out a plate and put the ugali on the plate alongside the kale. Well, that's all we have for today.
Thanks for listening in. Tune in next time.
I'm Blaine,
And I'm Ian Walgren.
and thanks for listening to Kenya News.